Hi everyone, my name is Erica Hill. I'm the Public Art Coordinator for the City of Reno, and I want to thank you all so much for being here, whether you participate as an artist or if you're here with your friends, your family, just to support. I want to give you huge thank yous. We are very honored to have this exhibition here as the kickoff for the Honeycomb Project tour. And I also want to thank Candace, who's going to be speaking to you next, who really put this on. And I actually have a little something for you today. It is from Senator Jackie Rosen's office, and their representatives couldn't be here tonight because of the current government shutdowns, but they really wanted me to get this to you for your hard work for organizing all of this, bringing so many people together across so many states. 500 artists is a huge monumental feat, so I want to give a big round of applause to everyone who participated and Candace.
First of all, this was monumental, but it couldn't have been done without all of the artists and all the artists who also kept me going and inspired me and just cheered me on to keep doing this project. Also, I did not install this. So Erica, Sophia, and Terrence, where are you? Terrence, he's like, I'll take that on, I'll install it. This is not going to be an issue. And I'm so grateful. I have to thank all the organizations, and there are a bunch. So if you look at the book, any of the books over there, you'll see there's a big thank you page in the front that acknowledges all the organizations that are involved in this. And then also just a special shout out to TMCC and Nevada Arts Council. There was a grant that helped pay, this was just gonna be, I had a prospectus, it was just gonna be individual artists coming together, doing this. And then there was this grant, and then TMCC, Natalie Russell, came and said, oh, do a workshop. And we did a honeycomb workshop at TMCC. There were over 80 people at the workshop. And it spearheaded workshops all over the country after that. So, and we had all the supplies because of the Nevada Arts Council grant. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. But Wandering Wild Team and the Audacity grant from the Community Foundation, I don't think anyone's here representing them, but thank you so much. And then also thank you to Double Scoop for writing maybe one of the final essays, correct? But I mean, that is such a gift to have that writing. So I'm just so grateful for that. So the books. A part of this was people were supposed to write an artist statement because I truly believe in the writing. And the writing is important in the stories because those books are going to outlast the pieces. If the pieces they get sold or it all gets dismantled, the books are still there and the stories behind it. So I've got volunteers. So I have 10 people. So what we're going to do, it's Gabby Melendrez Chavarin's going to start, and then Rebecca Eklund, Penny Pemberton, Scott Mayriart, Ann Fletcher's reading for her son, Cedar Fletcher. Deborah Labman, did she come? Deborah. She might. I don't think she's coming. And Joanna. Yay! And J.R. Stafford, Consuelo Tyree, Miriam Esparza, and Rachel. Well, no, Rachel's not going to be here. Ashley Frost and Pauline Russert. So we're starting with Gabby, and Gabby is a student at TMCC.
This classic sun and moon piece signifies a strong relationship between a mother and daughter. As they each represent a role in life, they are strongest together, creating an unbreakable bond of balance and harmony as each day passes. The sun, representing the daughter, shines with great strength and growth as she discovers her true self. As she embodies her authentic self, she is supported by the intuition and emotion of her mother, the moon. Although they each face obstacles in life and find themselves lost at times, they are always able to reconnect and embrace the hardships life presents, fighting through them together. The relationship between a sun and moon isn't only seen between a mother and daughter, but also in other relationships. Surrounding yourself with someone who brings positivity and peace into your life is important to admire and appreciate. What this piece contributes to the Honeycomb Project is an invitation to reflect on the connections we have with others and how they resonate in our lives. as we often overlook and forget who we are surrounded by. Remembering who we have by our side is essential as life can throw unexpected curveballs. Tomorrow is never promised. Let your loved ones know how much you appreciate them and what they mean to you.
The Honeycomb Project found me at about the same time that the news that I might never run another marathon again. The chronic stress fracture in my back made me wonder what the future held for me. Perhaps it's always been that way. Who knows definitively what waits for them in the days, months, and years to come? But what I knew was that I had always been an athlete, and that was how I moved through the world. The project invited me to consider, in a real and tangible way, 6 small answers to the fundamental question of, who am I now, and what can I see from this vantage point? The 6-point shape of the hexagon canvases intrigued me, as did the challenge of articulating a love of place not necessarily with words but through the language of the visual arts. I thought to a time during the pandemic when I had a small life coaching practice focused on helping artists and writers to find their purpose and direction within specific projects they were working on when they felt they'd lost their way. The research of Maori psychotherapist David Grove informed some of the techniques I employed then, and with the uniquely shaped wooden canvases, those ideas returned to me, and perhaps, too, I needed to find a new way. Like many, I'd read anthropologist David Wade's enthralling accounts of Polynesian seafaring cultures in the Wayfinders, and perhaps that's why that led me to Grove, whose theories found their roots in those Maori mythologies. These ancient peoples used acute perception to find their way, marking the current of the ocean and the cadence of the waves beneath their vessel, the orientation of stars, wind speed and direction, among many other subtle, delicate points of data. Accounts like these suggest that people can, in fact, find their way if only we learn to look hard enough. These writers argue that to notice the world in this way is deeply human, and yet it's also somehow a skill that we've largely forgotten in our contemporary moment. And the Honeycomb Project seemed like an invitation to return to that part of myself that was older and more essential than my identity as an athlete. After all, the number 6 is pervasive in nature. Not only do bees construct 6-sided honeycombs, but snow, when it falls, forms a 6-point crystalline structure in each individual snowflake. And more importantly, though, it takes 6 coordinates in space to form a dynamic system of relationships around any given point. So I decided to use my 6 hexagon-shaped canvases as a wayfinding tool for myself, to observe the world with close attention, to find the salient details, and to see what they could tell me about this new existence. These pieces represent the personal way of moving forward in the world without running, without biking races, and without the linearity and certainty of a start and a finish line. The hexagons are not linear, nor do they progress in any real way from one to the other. They are simply glimpses of the places and the moments I've seen, even on this healing journey. The locations that I painted were not exotic or even iconic. An aspen grove down the Thomas Creek watershed not far from the grocery store where I shop, a lone cottonwood tree bare of leaves in a winter a mile from my house on the banks of a dry watershed, the Carson River beneath the crepuscular winter light of dawn, and a feather there discarded by a stellar jay, and a sunrise I watched from my front yard on Christmas morning, and then a mysterious owl that comes to roost atop the eave on my garage at night. I've never seen him, but the evidence of his voice is undeniable, calling into the night as if he too were asking some essential question. The Maori believed that no journey was impossible, and it's only a matter of navigation. Perhaps it's a matter not only of finding the way, but finding a way, a method by which the journey can be undertaken. So 6 small canvases, 6 small glimpses, 6 small incantations or prayers written across the wide sky upon which an image takes shape. The irony of the journey is that I expected to end up in a new place when in fact my wayfinding using this project simply led me home.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. This is a fabulous exhibit, and I want to thank Candace for her vision in creating this project to begin with. And I celebrate all of the other artistic presentations and their personal stories, which are so fascinating. Everyone has really put themselves into this. When I started the Honeycomb Project, I thought, well, this is another challenge from Candace. We had just finished the Awe Project, and that was pretty spectacular, but this one was huge.
It became
Yeah, it
huge.
became huge. And so I thought, well, what am I gonna do for this one? And Carol and I have been studying the creation stories of various cultures. And we're very involved in a deep love of nature. So I thought, why not mosaic a tree of life? And it was really an adventure, a long adventure. I had no idea that as I placed the pieces of smalty on the board, or fused the glass birds and leaves and butterflies and hearts, that it would affect me like it did. It became a personal, living project. I was amazed. And I talked to Candace, and she said, you have to write an artist statement. I said, okay, should I make it spiritual or what? She said, just whatever you want to do.
I said right from the heart.
Right from the heart. Then I thought about one of my favorite sayings. I love poetry and I love various sayings. This one is from a Jesuit priest, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. You are not a human being in search of a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being immersed in a human experience. The duty of the mystic is to be always aware of the inner rhythm of the world and listen with care for the heartbeat of a higher reality. This tree of life is a universal representation of the interconnectedness of people and nature across cultures. And every,
I'm not. I'm almost gonna cry. Like.
I have deviated a little bit from the transcript in the book.
Oh, the book.
But anyway, in the pantheistic view, and I'm a pantheist, the tree of life is more than just a metaphor. It's a living expression of creation, and it permits every aspect of existence, representing the cycles of life, growth, and renewal. And in our studies of creation stories of different cultures, we found that the tree of life is indeed represented in many cultures around the world. I could read them off to you, but it'd take too long. Mesopotamian culture. Many of you probably have seen the Sumeric tree of life. Celtic tradition, and Native American traditions, which are so profound. They often emphasize harmony and connection among all life forms through the tree of life. When I made this, I thought, okay, I'm not just going to do a tree. I have to put something on the tree. And so I love to do glass. We make our own glass images, butterflies, birds, leaves, flowers, hearts, and so on. And then I had to say, how do they fit in? What do they represent? The butterflies are powerful symbols of transformation and rebirth, embodied by their life cycle from caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly. The leaves symbolize the cycle of life and growth. They change with the seasons. They turn colors in the fall, die in the autumn, and a new growth occurs in the spring. The tree of the trunk serves as a conduit between the earthly and spiritual realms. Birds symbolize the interconnection of nature through their diverse ecological roles. Flowers symbolize spiritual concepts across cultures, and it reminds me this year, one of my very favorite celebrations, the Dia de los Muertos. And in that celebration, marigolds hold a special place. They symbolize the connection between life and death. When the Spanish people who celebrate Dia de los Muertos celebrate the death of their ancestors in a very profound and spiritual way. Anyway, I put the heart in there. Everybody knows what the heart's, you know what the cross symbolizes. It's really the tree of life because it represents the body of Christ. But anyway, my project celebrates the deep interconnectedness of life and the environment.
Hello, everybody.
That's one of our veterans.
I am not an artist at all and never thought I'd be a part of something so beautiful as this. So that gives hope to everybody. Next time, participate, even if you're not artistic or I'm not a prolific writer, so I'll keep this short. The beautiful state of Nevada is my home. I'm so proud to be a veteran from this wonderful place. For me, home means Nevada.
Okay, so TMCC, the workshops, I've got Ann Fletcher, and she's gonna read what her son wrote.
I have it. So this was the workshop at TMCC, the big workshop.
Yeah, so my son was part of the Art Fest day that he got to just play with textures and colors, and it was all set up. And they're up there. And he picked colors that I liked, which I thought was really sweet. And so when you asked for a reflection, my son, who is 11, really enjoyed the project. And after all the activities of Earth Day and the Art Fest, he asked to go back and do one more because he enjoyed the process so much. And I asked him this morning when you sent the email how he felt about the project, and this was his reply. I felt happy. I felt like everything fit together and little things can add up to one big thing. And I wanted to add that your team you had yesterday was super welcoming, kind, and encouraging. And so it really just, we appreciate that.
We did. We had some great volunteers.
Yeah. You made it so fun.
All right, Joanna Dracos.
Okay, it's kind of
It's up
centrally located. Just a little context, when I was getting to this project, I was dealing with some personal overwhelm. And I didn't know what I was going to do. But then sort of following the project and seeing how beautifully intricate all the pieces were, I decided to create a place of peace and minimalism. In a busy in a busy hive, as in a busy life, we must take time to rest. Everything all the time is too much. Solitude and time to think leave space in our minds for creativity to bloom and ideas to germinate. My corner of the honeycomb is, quote unquote, a place to rest. Your eyes and mine. I invite you to pause for a moment, to be alone in your thoughts before you move on. Rest and solitude is the contrast we need for our busy lives to be in balance.
Thank you, ma'am. And I too am not an artist. And I want to thank all of the people that contributed to this. It's marvelous. And if you take the time, it's going to take more time than you thought when you truly appreciate everybody's effort that went into this. This collection of memories, perhaps when displayed, others might find some interest in the random pins from the United States Air Force, United States Coast Guard, various fire department, emergency management pins, and a few from national and some local veteran service organizations in northern Nevada. The pins are displayed on an American flag, under which I've had the honor of serving since 1964. And the only choice to display these pins, tracing to the various links to my past and present.
Where is it on the wall? So it's over here, second to last, it's on the bottom.
Okay.
There's straight line, it's the mermaids to the bear. All right. As a mixed media artist, my creative journey is an exploration of the intricate connections between nature, animals, and spirituality. I aim to reveal the beauty and the complexity of the world that surrounds us and our connection to it and vice versa. I find inspiration in the delicate balance of life, the quiet strength of the wilderness, and the intricate patterns of the natural world. Each piece tells a story, a moment frozen in time, that I hope sparks curiosity, connection, and what that connection to you is the magic. So thank you for joining me on this adventure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I always wanted to study art when I graduated high school, and when your family kind of helps you out with money and they have certain beliefs about becoming an artist, you don't have a lot of options. So I studied criminology. And now I went back to TMCC about 2 years ago, and I'm working on my fine arts associate, so here I am. All right. Being part of this project has taken me through a ride of emotions and ideas of what I was going to create. One afternoon, I was organizing and came across a small jewelry box I created several years ago. It was decorated with a mixture of acrylic paints and pyrography. This is when I decided that I would use this technique for the project. My fingers didn't like it so much, I'll tell you that. It gets hot. This brought me to my next dilemma of what I was going to create, and I decided to create hearts. Hearts represent love in many cultures, and I thought about how much we need love and compassion in order for our communities to function properly. The most colorful piece, titled Santa Fe, reminds me of my days living in New Mexico. The rest of the pieces capture my Mexican heritage, as they resemble the Mexican paper art form called papel picado, which is poked paper. Which is, you'll see it on Dia de los Muertos. You'll see all the colorful paper, that's papel picado. And enjoy, thank you.
I have a whimsical tune about my work and life's philosophy. Often I am intensely curious, and I find comfort in taking inspiration from the patterns that are found in my everyday life. From the patterns that are found in my everyday, like if you've ever been going through the motions of living and you stop and find yourself utterly infatuated by something, the pattern on a stucco or drywall, a passing gargantuan cloud, or a curious collection of shadows on a concrete pillar. All of these moments that form my reality, I can't help but want to inscribe in some capacity within my work. These panels are a love letter to my life, the mundane to the extraordinary. My marks are as joyous and inquisitive as I experience in my day-to-day life. Thank you.
I think that this will change every time the exhibit changes, the configurations. And I think that that's an amazing part of the community of the pieces. And I haven't been making art, in my opinion, consistently for decades. So I'm really happy to jump back in. And oddly, my piece is, there are goddesses. There's like an orange stripe and a blue stripe. It's down from Consuelos and up from Ashley's. So there's that. My piece is called They Walk in Elysian Fields, Path and Beacon, a Call and Response. My panels are in reference to and in honor of one of my dearest and oldest friends, Rebecca Rosenberg. She died unexpectedly, rapidly, without warning on March 2nd of this year, 2025. They are in reference to all the beings I've loved and known who are no longer living on this planet in the way they were when I knew them most recently. It consists of a single panel that is the signal, beacon, or call, and a larger set of 5 connected panels in response. Ideally, they are to be placed away from each other in the larger context of the show to elicit a feeling of both connectedness and separateness, but it works however you hang them. The lone panel represents the call, and the panel of 5, the response. Elysian Fields. She walks in Elysian Fields, a place I've been before. Remember in the before? We met there, my adored. I don't remember much, just that we were there. And then we were here, so many of us. Many have returned to walk those Elysian fields, including you, my darling, dear Rebecca.
Thank you, everyone.